I do believe we're live. So, I'll say indeed, and greetings unto you, beloved and holy friends. What a dear pleasure it is to have you here again on another day, another opportunity for us to consciously be evolving. The thing I want to talk about today is the waves of consciousness, specifically as it relates to our own self-image. You can probably see I have something brewing under my skin. And I really dislike it. I really don't like that, yo. Having skin and stuff, and then there are things that mess with my skin. Can we not? Can we not? Am I gonna have to deal with that my entire existence? I guess so. And I think that's kind of the waves of consciousness that I'm trying to touch on today. There are certain things in life that I'm going to have to keep dealing with, right? And I don't know if the things will become easier to deal with, or if it's going to be me becoming wise enough, strong enough, patient enough, conscientious enough to just not care as much, maybe. All right, is that the solution? Do I have to find a way to not actually care about any of those things? Or do I have to do something about it? Right? The part of me that gets overly obsessed wants to have technology intervene to the point of like replacing my entire body with electronics, right? Making myself robot so I don't have to deal with the the flesh, as we say. Hey, Dream Tooth, you're going to probably have a field day with me today in this stream, bro. I'm talking about the waves of consciousness and as it relates to the image of self. I do not like dealing with. Do you call it an injury? Are you gay? No. No, I'm not. I am patient though, right? I know that I heal up eventually. It's just a matter of how long will it take? There are certain things in life I'm going to have to deal with. Hangnails, dig holes in traffic, pooping. None of it stops until we do, and it sucketh. Yeah, I'm definitely having that sensation, Sam, where it's one of those things where I'm like coming to terms with, right? And again, it comes in waves in consciousness as well, where sometimes we don't think about it at all, and then sometimes we're called to think about it more, right? To the point where it takes up so much mental real estate, and we find ourselves inundated, overladen, stuck in the loop of our own minds, right? Instead of just moving forward with whatever it is we're doing, we keep coming back to an obsession, right? A want for things to be perfect. That's where I fall short. I really do want things to be perfect, right? And I have this like stick up my ass, to say it in so many words, this obsession with it to the point where I am dissatisfied if it's not perfect, if it's not as close to perfect as possible, right? Because it feels like a kind of injustice that I'm doing towards myself. And then at the same time, there is this acknowledgement and realization in my own spirit that human beings are not perfect things, right? Who told me? Who said? Who said human beings are perfect? Nobody. Nobody ever said that. And yet still, I can find myself expecting. Suffering in my want for things to be differently. You know what I mean? So how do we get better at that? That's the question I'm wondering about. Maybe you friends can help me discover some answers. I just like to make clear I have a wealth of patience today. I'm just not putting up with that nonsense in particular. Yeah, somebody asking me whether I'm gay, whether I'm sure of that, right? Like, I am convinced that no actually straight person goes around spending their time asking others, right? I've never, not once in my straight life, gone out to another person's chat and go like, "You must be gay." No, I'm not gay. Are you sure you're not gay? Are you sure? Are any of us sure? Maybe all of us are a little bit gay. I think we have bastardized these ideas in our minds to the point where it's like an ideology. It's like a whole way of being, a whole belief system is attached to it, a whole reason to hate, to discriminate. And I'm very fortunate that I don't have any of that in my brain. There are bigger things for me to be worried about. Hey, Jovan. It's nice having you. Joe is saying hi to Sam and Hoops, MeltMore. Lovely Saturday to you all. Yeah, it is Saturday. Look at that. Hey, hope you're having a happy Saturday. Jovan sent you happy Saturdays too. Well, who the fuck just walks up to a total stranger and be like, yo, you smoke ball? Uh, probably a child. Probably a child. Probably like just recently learned the concept of gay and is now completely obsessed with it. Is it something that interests you? You might be like, what are you looking at? No, my sticker has some corners missing. You can see it from here, right? A corner missing and a corner missing. And both of those corners are missing in the same places, I'm noticing. So there's clearly some sort of a weak point on the print where if it gets enough reason to, it tears off. The fact that these bottom ones haven't moved is surprising. Some of them have like little flecks missing, but they're mostly intact. Oh, as I said that, I'm noticing. Oh, pushes it back. Yeah, I might lose little pieces of those as well. You see that? That one up top? It has a crack through it. I just moved it back in place. What a shame. These two ones up front seem to have a little bit more rounded corners. A little bit less to take off. You are in the same place. Yeah. I live here right now. I have been changing perspectives, right? So every time it's a little bit different. But it's the same place. You're right. Very astute of you to notice. I've not gone somewhere else just yet. Melt, go over those stickers with clear nail polish, and you won't likely have this issue again as your sister. I thought about that too, Sam. I did think about the clear nail polish. However, I don't know if I want clear nail polish on the actual device. So I opted out. And it's also a kind of stress test. Even G Fuel, Natalie Rose, Sam, yeah, jackpot, Grin Reaper, haven't seen that name, and Pojo. That is some high numbers. Yeah, jackpots, big old jackpots. Nice, yo. Thank you for blessing our community with memberships. Thank you for blessing me with your love. I gotta run early, duty calls, but I'll leave a parting gift until I see y'all again tomorrow. Love yous. We love you, Zhao. Patch is here again. My fellow South African friend. Alright, Patch? How you doing? How you doing, Patch? Tell me, in which area of South Africa do you live? I got a flower again. Thanks, Zhao. It's nice. WSG. What's going on? I just hit the button. Most useless invention. Am I supposed to answer it? It gives me the option to hit that button. I kind of want to see what it looks like. That's why I hit it. I don't know if there are any useless inventions. Anything that was invented has some sort of use, surely. At least that's the way I see it. Huh. Yeah, I don't see. Doesn't seem to be working on my side at the very least. What's good? If I get FOMO, I get over it quickly. Now with practice closing non-relevant tabs. Good. Not splitting your mind up in too many places. Yeah, I don't know. I can't really see it on my side, so I guess it must be on the mobile or something. Jasmine is here, just popping in. Can't stay. Wanted to start my day with you lovely people. Aww. Well, Jasmine, if you're only here for a second, thank you for joining us. You were loved, dear friend. I hope you have a beautiful Saturday. Remember that you are loved, that you are loving, and that you are lovable. It's a pleasure having you here for these moments. Hope you're enjoying life. I'm enjoying life, oh. I'm enjoying life. More than enjoying life right now, I am curious. I'm curious about you, Patch Patch. Tell me more about yourself, oh. I have nothing to link me to who you are. Just a little Burby and a Patch Patch name. Absorbing info, entertaining it is good, but discharging nervous energy into the earth is my kind of life. I respect that. I take moments to ground myself bare feet to the earth as well. I did it this morning, first thing. There definitely is something there, hoopty hoops. There is something there for us. I just think it's difficult for us to quantify properly. Right? Because we are unable to tell exactly what benefits these things have for our bodies. We don't do them quite as much or with the same level of seriousness. I wonder if there's been any studies done on grounding. Let's see. Me and some friends are having a conversation about the power in grounding. The power of grounding. Specifically as it relates to putting bare feet on the grass or on the dirt. And as it relates to being positively charged of ions and the Earth's negative charge dissipating some of that positively charged electrons. Let me know if there has any studies been done and allow some extra added nuance to that conversation. Searching for studies? Yeah. Grounding, aka earthing. Always be barefoot on grass. It's good for health. It feels good. Feels good at the very least as well, right? Or earthing touches on interesting intersections between physiology, electricity, nature, and well-being. I'll walk you through what the research does show, where it's still weak, and some added nuance you and your friends might consider. What the research does suggest is that here are some more credible findings from scientific studies on grounding or earthing. Skin contact with the earth via bare feet, lying on the grass or the soil, or with conductive grounding devices. A review article found that grounding, defined as direct skin contact with the Earth's surface, is associated with measurable physiological changes, reductions in inflammation markers, changes in white blood cell counts, and shift in circadian rhythms as it relates to your cortisol, etc. For example, one study reported that in grounded versus ungrounded subjects following a muscle injury, delayed onset muscle soreness, the grounded group had less pain afterwards. Different WBC and neutrophil responses. Interesting. Doing it with a pet, mainly a dog, can help with stress or anxiety as well. I mean, if it literally reduces inflammation markers, it literally helps you with your stress. And apparently it shifts your circadian rhythm, which is cortisol related as well. So literally a reduction of stress. Grounding or earthing as related to electromagnetic hygiene. Note that grounding barefoot in nature is a simple form of biological grounding that more research is emerging on. Popular summaries acknowledge the hypothesis that the surface of the Earth carries a net negative electrical charge. So contact allows the body to receive electrons, which might neutralize reactive oxygen species or free radicals and reduce oxidative stress and inflammation. Interesting. That's where we do have evidence. Where the evidence is weak, however, and caution is warranted, is that many studies have small sample sizes, or they use grounding devices, mats or sheets, rather than purely barefoot walking in nature. The Healthline article says grounding is currently an under-researched topic, and there are very few independent and qualified scientific studies on its benefits. Some claims, like the massive anti-aging effects or the major disease reversal, are not yet backed by rigorous, randomized controlled trials. Some grounding-related literature comes from authors who also market grounding products, so there's potential conflicts of interest. Where are you right now? South Africa. This is South Africa. He is in South Africa. Thank you, Patch Patch. It's true. That is where I am right now. There is still ambiguity about the mechanism. The idea of free electrons from the Earth entering the body and neutralizing free radicals is interesting. But the actual biophysics in the body, resistances, skin contact, conduction via shoes, insulation, makes it more complex than a simple Earth electrons fix everything story. Very good. I'm also in South Africa. What province? Mpumalanga. Practical co-founders. When you walk barefoot on grass, you're also doing many things that benefit health. You're touching nature by reducing stress, being outdoors, you're doing some light exercise, you're in a different posture, there is sensory stimulation happening. Disentangling just electrons and electrical charge from nature immersion plus lifestyle change is hard. Yeah, I want to agree with that sentiment. Me too. I think that has more to do with it than anything. Just putting yourself out into a different environment. Have you considered touching grass? Is that a vape? No. Technically, it's not a vape. But also, technically, it is a vape. Raksha. Rakshakistan. It is a dry herb vaporizer, it's called. Right, so it's not the kind of vape that you're used to in the world. This one, you put a little bit of herbs. You can put tobacco. You can put pieces of lavender. You could put, I have put the zest of citrus fruits in there. And then you can add heat to this little outside chamber, and then it evaporates the flavors that is in whatever you put in there. Evaporates the little what's it called? Lavanol? What's lavender's oil called? Or the little citrus flavors, right? The limonene terpenes as well. It is nice and cute. Do a puff. Nah, I don't feel like it right now. Not right now. Maybe later again. You give it like 40 minutes. Maybe I'll be down for more. I share my emotions here. It's also. Why? Because I've already had one. I've already had one, Rakesh. Raksha. It would be me indulging to excess if I had another. And as such, it would be appropriate for me to stop right now. I do like the feel of it. Is it addictive? Well, if it was addictive, then I'd be like, yeah, more. Okay, I'll do more. More, please. At least that's the way I see addiction. It can be habit forming, if that's the way you want the question answered, right? It can be something that you're used to doing. However, twice this year, I took 2 months off from using it. And it wasn't really hard. It was more a matter of, okay, I'm going to now put this away. And then I did. It's more a matter of why it is we do it in the first place. Right? I have seen people use this thing to metaphorically hit themselves over the head 4 or 5 times an hour, every hour. Right? The way I use it is usually as like a companion to my current experience. But I usually try and have an experience to have this be a companion too. I think there is room in my life as well. Personally, I wouldn't smoke. This is technically not smoking, right? I don't know if this is going to be something you can properly see. I don't think so. We don't have the ideal light for me to show. But you can kind of notice. See how it's silver in there? Technically that's titanium, but you see how it's titanium colored in there? That's because there's nothing burning in there. If something burns in there, it is immediately apparent to your taste buds. Right? The way something tastes when it burns, I don't think is good to anyone. Nobody really likes that. Right? Everybody maybe likes a little bit of bubbles on their marshmallow. But if the marshmallow is like burnt completely black into a crisp, nobody is like signing up to have any of that. Does it damage your lungs? No. The heat might be something your lungs could be sensitive to, but the actual vapor is not supposed to be lung damaging. Part of me wants to like fact check myself as well for accuracy's sake, so I'll do that. We transitioned into having a conversation about dry herb vaporizers. I am aware that in certain cancer treatments, they actually prescribe cannabis use to their patients. And they usually do so by giving them some sort of equivalent of a dry herb vaporized vapor, right? We probably do know that it's better for you. What can you tell us? I do know that cannabis is anti-inflammatory as well, and anti-cancer in its application. However, is it still bad for your lungs if you're inhaling the vapor but no smoke? We'll find out together. How old are you right now? I'm 27. I am 27. Great question, thanks. Yeah, such great questions. What the research shows Smoke inhalation from cannabis, where you're combusting plant materials, clearly carries risks like airway irritation or bronchitis-like symptoms, where it's cough, phlegm, or wheeze. Historical changes in the airway, mucosa, goblet cell hyperplasia, or vascular changes have been observed in actually smoking it, right? Compared to smoking, using a vaporizer, a dry herb heated but not combusted, reduces respiratory symptoms. For example, one relatively early study found that among cannabis users who switched to vaporizer use for a month has their respiratory symptoms improve, and some lung function markers improved as well. A survey found that users of vaporizers reported fewer respiratory symptoms, coughing, wheezing, or chest tightness, than cannabis users who smoke their bud. There is emerging work on cannabis vapor, exposure at the cellular level. A 2025 in vitro study found that vaporized cannabis does still alter gene expression pathways and alveolar epithelial cells, pathways linked to oxidative stress, immunity, and cancer. There you go. So it can still be a little bit skizzy, it seems. On the other hand, for patients with existing lung diseases, COPD, one small study found that vaporized cannabis did not significantly improve airway function, exercise capacity, or breathlessness in the cohort. Some evidence suggests that smoking cannabis increases lung cancer risk, though the evidence is very weak and complicated by tobacco use, etc. The American Lung Association states plainly, smoking marijuana damages the human lungs. There is still little known on the potential long-term health effects of inhaling marijuana or products made from it through routes other than smoking. So yeah, we don't know the long-term effects because it hasn't been around for that long, relatively speaking. Many of the studies are small sample sizes. Removal of combustion does reduce many of the well-known harms, tar, carbon monoxide, smoke particulates, but reduced does not mean absolutely zero risk. So there it is as well. There are still some questions about what is inhaled when you vaporize. Fine vapor, aerosols, particulates, heated organics, possibly some pyrolysis byproducts. The 2025 cellular study suggests that even vapor can trigger changes in lung epithelial cells. The method matters a lot. What temperature the herb is vaporized at, how clean the device is, what material the device is made of, whether additives are present, and what your inhalation practice are, depth and frequency. These all affect your associated risk. For medical contexts, the safest route may not always be inhalation. There is alternative delivery systems like edibles, tinctures, or inhalers that are preferred. Nuance on how to think about this. Purpose and context. I think this is just some extra stuff. So recommendations is high quality dry herb vaporizer. This one is made of metal. What's your favorite Z-port? My favorite Z-port is probably port number 1. Probably means sport. I don't know if you're gonna like any of my answers, Patch. I'm not really that into sport. Thinking about my favorite sport doesn't bring up anything defined in my mind. There's nothing that I'll spend time watching. right? Like, I don't think there's a single sport that I have ever watched a whole game of by my own volition. Like, turned the TV on and watched it. I've technically watched one full game of rugby because I went there with a friend to an actual game. He had extra tickets. Well, he had a ticket that he had for a friend that the friend bailed on. Yeah. Is there any sport that I really gravitate towards? I'd be lying if I said I had one. I'm like really soul searching myself right now, but I'm like coming up empty, bro. You tell me, Patch Patch. Edibles ain't the same, unfortunately. Different chemical, different duration of lasting. Is piracy a sport? If it is, I think I might have my favorite one. Bro, you might like surfing for real. I might. I've never tried. I've never tried surfing. I've only seen the ocean like 7 times in my life, maybe 8 times, right? And every single time I saw the ocean, we were only there for a week, so I've never had the opportunity to really learn how to surf, but I probably would like it. However, because I'm more a land-based animal, I'm looking at things like one wheels and EUCs as like a means for me to essentially surf land, right? So I get it. When you sit oceanside and observe the surfers, it might speak to you. I'm not convinced. Irian, cool name. Probably said it wrong. It's just a matter of being close to the ocean, right? That's the real bottleneck. I really should see the ocean again. I haven't seen the ocean in 7 years. Going on 8 years now. It's gonna be 8 years. No, it's gonna be 7 years in like a month. That's a long time. That's too long for me to not see the ocean. Martial arts is a cool discipline, no pressure at all, no worries, light consideration. I kind of like it, Iran, the way you're showing up. It's like, you should consider surfing. Try it. Try it. Just like sit next to the ocean, watch them surf. Think about it. How about some martial arts? It's cool. No pressure though, no worries. Just think about it lightly. I probably do want to do some sort of martial art. What's the one that's grappling? Is it jujitsu? Hey Google, define jujitsu.
Jiu-jitsu is a Japanese martial art and system of close combat, often translated as the gentle art, which focuses on using an opponent's force against them rather than confronting it directly. Modern forms often specialize. Japanese jiu-jitsu is the original system using various grappling and striking techniques for self.
Yeah, Brazilian jiu-jitsu is the one I should do. A derivative sport of martial arts that heavily emphasizes ground fighting, grappling, and submission holds, like joint locks and chokes, to defeat a stronger opponent using leverage. Yeah, jiu-jitsu is you in relation to the floor, using the floor to that force. That's cool. Lightly considered. I'm considering it lightly. I feel that way about climbing, very grounding sports. Johan also does some climbing stuff. Ayo, bro, gonna watch something else. See ya. Thank you for joining for as long as you did, Patch Patch. It was a pleasure having you here with me. Yeah. Today's stream topic. is a little bit up in the air, isn't it? The waves of consciousness and the way we apply our own insecurity to it does make it a little bit hard for us to let ourselves off the hook. Can't see the forest because I'm stuck looking at a tree. All right? Cool, thanks, bro. Enjoy your day. Appreciate you. Thank you for joining us too. Rian. I don't know if I said it correct one time, but I appreciate you contributing to this space as well. I do feel like my body is heavy, right? In part because I think I am actually unfit right now. Like I'm a little bit overweight. You in the USA? Not yet. Pumzile Mali? Not yet. However, my visa has now officially been approved. So, after a short wait, it will become an option for me to be in the USA. So, if you ask me again 6 months from now, I'll maybe be able to say yes. Maybe is relative. I think definitely, but I'm giving myself a maybe for the way it is. 6 months is technically literally the amount of time I'll have to get there. My visa will be valid. My entry visa will be valid for as long as my medical checkup is. Hey, Bedell, it's nice having you here. And that's 6 months. All right, so within the next 6 months, I will be in the United States of America. There's cat next to me. What are you saying, meow? What are you saying? You saying meow? Is it meow? Hmm? Is it meow? Scratchy, scratchy. Yeah, feeling heavy. Feeling heavy. Waves of consciousness. Sometimes, in waves of consciousness, you will feel so uplifted that everything is light, that all the decisions come with ease, and your willingness to appreciate and participate in this world will increase. However, as all waves do, they have a trough, an ebb and a flow as well, right? That wave has to come back down again. And it's in those lower waves that we find ourselves participating in energies of doubt and insecurity and forgetfulness of the lessons we've been learning our entire lives. Really is surreal to me how much I let get past me. I do take it seriously. And still, slippery universe, slippery grasp on what's right from moment to moment. What's the right thing to do? It's a big one. What's the right thing to think? What's the right thing to say? What's the right thing to feel about a certain circumstance? Is there really an answer? Really? Is there really an answer to that question? I don't know. Think we can come to a collective agreement as a species, right? I think certain things are right, and you might think those certain things are right as well. But it's in that way that we form our own little tribes. And then we find ourselves back in the same place where we want to be right. MeltMore is thinking, yeah, taking a moment to contemplate. My lower back is hurting, hoopty hoops. I'm in a wave. I'm in one of those flow waves. And my body is calling me to rest. Take some moments. Maybe I'll do a little back stretch. Uh, uh. Having a human body. What? It never ceases to be hard for me. I have struggled being a human since the very start. Right? And that's not me being like, I've been struggling staying alive as a human. No. At some point, yes. But no. It's more, it's hard for me to like fathom, to baffle, to like accept that this is what I am in a way. All right, like I wake up every day, and then I'm like I'm still a human, and like my spirit is like, what? How is this possible? I was not human just a second ago in that dream of mine. How is this? How is this what I am? And literally trillions of things simultaneously working together for me to have an experience of back pain right now. It's hilarious. I think I need to start supplementing magnesium again. I ran out a while ago and I haven't been getting back into it. And when I was supplementing magnesium, I stopped hurting as much. Maybe that would be helpful too.
Your body needs magnesium, Melt. You can't do like 200 things if you don't have magnesium.
Yeah, okay, myself, I say to me, whatever.
No, not whatever. We did this shit more serious.
Fine, myself, I say to me, you win. That does feel better. That does feel better. Having done like a little bit of a lay down like that. A little bit of a back stretch could be dangerous. Oh, it is fucking irritating being human. But what I hate the most is the constant liquid interchange. I also don't like things getting under my toenails. Super uncomfortable. For me, it's the pimples. For me, it's the pimples. Right? Like, can I have some like reprieve? Like, please. That to me is like my least favorite part of being human. Is the pimples. Oh my goodness! Like I'll lose my mind just thinking about it right here. That's the exact from the extra from nature. It goes away with age. Yeah. Like, what is the purpose of toenail discomfort? I can go without them, damn. I've not had much toenail discomfort. Usually my discomfort comes from my own mind. Most of the discomfort I have. Right? And it's like, I'll see a pimple on my face, and then it will cause me discomfort. I'll be like, in my own head about it. I find some things hard, some I breeze by on most days. Like, the same things, different day, could suddenly be hard. I never know. Yeah, it does seem to have that quality to it, Hoopy. where you get to like actually be uncaring about a thing in one instance of your experience, and then a few things change, and so does your opinion of it. Very unpredictable, very volatile, this experience. For me, it's the pimples, silence. I do not have that problem. Sister hated it, watching me grow up with clear skin while she looked like a pizza. Oh, it's rough. It's not fun, Sam. I can tell you that. I can sympathize with your sister a little bit. It's been a pretty constant thing for me since I became a teenager. It was a lot worse when I was a teenager. Like, I'm now lucky to only have like one on my face, one big one on my face at any point in time. Used to be like minimum 3, right? And then into the numbers of like 10. Those were the days, right? And I have come so far, but that part of me that's like, just like, why, bro? Can I please have a different experience? This experience, like, am I supposed to learn some sort of lesson? Am I supposed to do something better? Wash my face more? Wash my face less? But it doesn't tell me. It just throws sporadic tantrums every now and then. It's like, okay, now I'm doing this thing again. And I don't really mind if you have plans, so this is what's happening now. Do you? The best thing is you. No, you. Oh. I understand that part as well, Hoopy. I think that's the point I'm trying to make with this whole dialogue, is that it's so absurd. It's such an interesting wave of consciousness that we can be these exuberant, world changers, art makers, lovers of others and ourselves. Like, we can do all of those things, and then at the same time, we can be insecure about having pimples. Right? That just seems so wild to me. Like, why is that? It's always telling you how exactly for. Yeah. It was nice to be here with you, friends. I think I need to do a little bit more moving. My lower back is throwing a little bit of a tantrum. Being a human. Having a human experience on planet Earth in the year 2025. Yeah. Why does being human require more than eating SpaghettiOs and touching myself? Good question. The answer that my brain comes up with is because we need more than that. We need, simply, we need more than that. That's not enough. It's not enough for a human. I have a big one right now. Hooray for the human experience, teaching us many things. I despise the expectations placed upon my physical form. Melt, when are we going to be able to place our consciousness into robot bodies? It's going to take us a while, Mojo. I won't lie. We might have to put our brains into robot bodies in the meantime before we'll figure out the actual consciousness part. But that sounds like the step in the right direction, right? Maybe we'll lose something being in a robot body, but we'll gain others. Would be quite a difference of experience. All right, I'm back. Raksha, were you in time to see me use my little Dynavap? Or did you get here just in time to be late again? It's being put away now. And I'm going to show you. What a battery does a superior robot use? Probably some sort of nuclear diamond battery. Right? The problem with nuclear diamond batteries is that they have very low output. So I was in time. There you go. It would be difficult to get that much energy out of a nuclear diamond battery. But if a robot could actually be completely functional with such a battery, that would be the superior battery, because it would last like 30,000 years, not needing a recharge or a battery change. Ah, wonderful. I am too, Raksha. So there shan't be any chat spamming. My actual name is Michael. Mitchell? I'm trusting it's supposed to be Michael. It's nice to meet you, friend. It would be cool if we could pick different forms, like something. I'm in the mood to be a giant dragonfly. That would be really cool. Upload. I mean, in the short term, again, we'll probably be able to simulate such experiences in our digital realms, right? Our minds will become interdimensional travelers in our lifetimes. We are here right now in this physical reality, but our minds will be able to go to other places as well. If not in our VR spaces, we will figure out a way to get better at like consciousness projection or the likes in our future too. So being a giant dragonfly is not out of the realm of possibility, Mojo. I've tried that. The devs are like super religiously against the rerolls, and they've coerced the players into harassing people who try soft rerolling instead. Oh, that's hilarious. I get it. I get it, Sam. Yeah. Many people find comfort in believing there's only a few ways, ideally only one way to play the game, right? If they can convince themselves and everyone else there's only one way to play the game, then they at least know the rules and the playing field, and they can feel safe. and their cushy little self-created illusion of reality. However, more and more of us are realizing that there is a lot more, let's call it spectrum, to the infinity that we're a part of. And it doesn't help to dictate for others. It's hard enough to figure it out for yourself. Find happiness in who you are and where you are. No matter where that is, can you allow yourself to find happiness? Grizel, I'm just getting lost in the bird sounds right now. There is some rushing water in the distance. There is an underlying experience happening in my body that grounds me to my reality. Bro, what you doing? I'm giving you a little breakdown. And in this, like a grounded bodily experience, I find myself present enough to appreciate where it is I am. Despite the want for some things to be differently, I can find happiness here as well. You have a question? Ask away. I'll allow you that. You ain't ever seen a hippie sit back and take in his reality? Yeah. Just like take a moment. Take a moment to see where it is you are. To find peace in where it is you are. Ask your question, dear friend. Do you believe in God? Just asking. Yeah, you can say that. Sure. I think God is a word we use to explain something we don't understand. Right? And believe is a word we use to say that there is trust in something that we can't prove. All right, so that question is loaded with a lot of human language baggage. But sure, in the way that it is understood, all right, you could say, I believe in God. In the way that it is usually misunderstood, I would say, I believe in God as much as I believe in myself. All right? I only have as much proof as there is right in front of me right now. And I believe that God perspective is love. Right? And if not for love, then there would be no me in this experience. And I don't have to believe in the same way we use that word, because I am and you are. God is amazing, you see. Yes. And in this context, God gave you the wherewithal to have an amazing experience. And I feel like that is the thing that is, to me, what needs to be cherished. And when we get too caught up in the God question and the liberation, we can find ourselves escaping the reality of what we are. All right? The reality that you are, love is true. That your very existence in this moment is proof. All right? You don't have to do anything to deserve that, to earn it. You don't have to pray for it. So it's what you are. You're already here. Did you go for it? You know what Sunday school? Yes, I was in Sunday school my whole life. Frizzell, if I could attempt to explain his position, I would say Melt believes in God like sunlight. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, I like that. There's the central star in our sky. Then there's the rays, the warmth it puts off. Very well put. Very, very well put indeed, Sam. I would agree. Yo, what's up, bro? Hope you're doing well. Hi, Tayao Ar, the friend from Turkey, right? The engineer. Is that right? It's nice to have you here. Sending you blessings. How you doing? I'm doing well. My body is aware, and I'm grateful for that. But other than that, I feel I'm grateful for the presence I'm allowed in this moment as well. I definitely am getting back into a groove, a certain state of being. It's like I'm making a plan with the amount of time I have. Cryptic? Cryptic? Am I being cryptic? I'm saying as much as I feel like I'm in a little bit of a state of limbo right now, right? Like the in between. And I'm usually the kind of person that tries to rush things, right? Very impatient. But I feel like the best thing that I can do for myself is be calm. I have found significantly more peace in being calm these days. Still have a hard time standing still or sitting still. But when I do, I should be really still. I should get good at that part. How are you doing, Aitel? Have you been getting better at stillness as well? In his belief system, God and us are like the sun and its warmth. We are emanating of him, inseparable part and parcel of the grand divine. Yeah. Sam being so beautifully eloquent in writing up the way that we see that whole definition. There is no separation. That's the big one, right? Emanates of him, inseparable. Inseparable. There's nothing you can do. You cannot separate yourself from all that is, right? And all that is what we would consider God, the label we put over the unfathomable. Right? And I don't have to believe in that because I'm a part of it. All right. In the same way that the sun shines, and then I can see my hands in front of me because that light becomes a part of me. All right. That is pretty amazing, as you said, Chriselle. I'm guessing you should go for a retreat. If you have it, there I got so much peace. I think you're right. I would like to go for like a 10-day silent retreat or something. But I would expect certain leniences that would be hard to justify, right? I wouldn't want to disturb other people, and I refuse to break my promises. So it's a little bit of a juxtaposition that I find myself in. It's hard to induct folks into believing you and the asshat you broke up with 3 weeks ago are the same soul without dressing it up a little bit with some cosmic apotheosis. It's true. It is very difficult to accept such things, right? Because it brings a whole layer of radical self-acceptance and unwillingness to continue bullshitting yourself, right? It's like a responsibility again. Yesterday we talked about that. You suddenly have to take a lot more responsibility over everything, especially the way you articulate, if you will, see yourself as the hero or the victim. Both of those can be problematic. It is wild how far we've come as a species. It's interesting to notice how many different things we have been believing. I believe love is true. Now, I know love is true, right? It's the one thing that if I live by it, it serves me and those around me as well, right? Religion adds a lot of layers, and it's very easy to misconstrue. It's difficult to misconstrue love is true. In my Sunday school, the priest literally took out names of people who he didn't know and said that God has cured you of whatever problem they had. One person's fracture, another person's headache. They told me it actually worked. Yeah, I'm sure it did. I'm sure it did. I think most of us underestimate how powerful human beings are, how powerful we are, how powerful collective consciousness is, especially when it's focused. I'm not surprised. The disciples of Commission, Trizal, that's what it's called in the world, and that's how spontaneous healing occurs in the church. Yeah. And if you're like, I don't understand what Sam is saying, she's saying that there unfortunately is swindlers. Swindlers, right? Where there are people that will prophesize having been healed, people that will be wheelchaired in, knowing full well that their legs are still working, and then they will walk out of that church with a commission, disciples of commission, right? That unfortunately does happen. Unfortunately, right? And it's very convincing because everybody wants a miracle. But the real miracles are going to come from slow but steady medical advancements, right? We need to fund medical research. That's how we get real miracles available to the average person. Tithing to church is going to be less effective, unfortunately, right? And that's where that's where the stick of past comes from when it comes to religion, because it's like, that's a lot of money. That's a lot of money for what? For what exactly? What's being done with all of that money? They said some people would see a light, and some people did. And some people would feel heat or shiver. I felt both. Yeah, that's possible as well. Right? All of that's possible. I am an admirer of the Church of the Flying Spaghetti Monster, aka Pastafarianism. Ramen. More people need to walk the 8 pasta path. Yes, indeed. They said it's the Holy Spirit. Yeah, Chriselle. I literally grew up going to church as well. Right? I was one of those kids that would speak in tongues in church. I got really into it. Right? Drank the Kool-Aid, if you will. And then I realized, wait a second. Reality is what I believe it is. And the more people come together to believe in a certain reality, the more satisfaction they get, knowing that you believe the same thing they believe. And then it quickly dawned on me that actually these people don't believe what I believe. Actually, because they are not living the way that I'm living. They're not applying the information that we are given in the same way. And then I had to reevaluate. Wait a second. Hold up. And then things changed, right? I went far to the other side, like hardcore atheism. If I die, I turn into worms. I was very proud of being hardcore enough to accept that reality as like a 14, 15-year-old, where I was like, when you die, you turn to worms. Get over it, loser. That was my mentality as a 14, 15-year-old. And then I grew, right? I was still technically atheist, but less vocally so. 16, 17, 18, 19. And then I turned 20, and a bunch of things happened that year. And amongst them was a divine moment of thought, where I went into it with the intention of meeting God. I was like, if there's God, let me meet them. Let me, I'm calling headquarters and I'm like, let me talk to the boss. Let me talk. Hit me up, boss, please. Please, boss. let me have a line in. And then I didn't exactly experience what I would call talking to God in so many words. But I suddenly realized that there is so much more, let's say, in between what you know yourself to be and think you are and what is. And if that continues to the extremes that I know it goes to, God is something so unfathomably vast that wouldn't I wouldn't embarrass myself enough to claim I know anything. All right. It's like, oh, you know what God looks like and is and their divine will. You do you? Oh, tell me more, so I can laugh about it later. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Yeah, and I did. I changed. I changed because again, even the belief that when I die I turn to worms felt arrogant. Felt like, oh, you think you know? You do you? Do you think you think you know what's gonna happen? No. No, actually you don't know anything. And like coming to that realization helped. And I moved towards what I would now consider spirituality. All right. Religion. It's when a bunch of people come together and agree on what God is, where spirituality is the pursuit of what God is. And that has been my journey, right? And I find God these days, especially in nature, nature and people, right? And of course, my little animals too. And really well designed, right? Like God designed stuff too, right? I can feel God in that. I can feel God in things that have been loved by people as well, right? Almost like that God essence gets imbued into it. Yeah. Pursue what God is, dear friend. Don't let people tell you what God is. Anyway, gotta go see you later. Nice talking to you. You got the gift of toughness. Yeah, yeah. Big, strong. You can beat me down to the ground and I'll get up smiling. I'll get up stoked. It's like, oh, that hurt. I can feel. Starts losing mind about it. When I definitely decide to ride the Jesus train, I no longer attend a brick and mortar church. Maybe if I was open with Pastor K, he'd be able to tell me more about my spiritual life. I'd lie if I said I knew what any of that means. I understand the first part, but the open, maybe if I was open with Pastor K. Am I supposed to know Pastor K? And for someone else to tell you more about your spiritual life, that's like a big one. You know, like this is me. Like if somebody tries to tell me about my life, right? The real one, if you will, or the tangible one that I'm living, I usually find a lot of in my spirit about it, you know? Telling me about my spiritual life, right? I would probably go like double as far. Be like, you fucking what? You tell me about my spiritual life now, are you? Don't dare tell me about my actual life. Like, I barely know what. Back again. I'm digging those purple beings behind you, Melt. Those little flowers. They really are being featured. So cool. Thank you for noticing, Mojo. Dressing in purple as well today. I gotta match 'em. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I see the look on your face. Pastor Kevin is who I studied under. Okay, for 18 years. He's quite liberal for being a former armed forces and a retired police officer. No, that's fine. It's fine learning from people. Just the exact ways, like tell me more about my spiritual life. Like I think that's the part of me that again is like anti-dogma, right? Like spirituality, in my own opinion, in that way. Maybe I can like unpack my own bias, right? Spirituality, in my opinion, is a personal pursuit. It is something that only you can do for yourself. Something that only you can go out and discover. Something only you can find depth within, right? Anything in that way. And it's bias, my bias. That someone else tries to like implant in your mind, tries to like tell you how it is. It's like it's not true. Maybe it can be helpful. Maybe it can be helpful. It can be like a guide. But it's not true. All right. To the extremes that I feel the personal spiritual experience would be. All right. And unfortunately, the more information we get in that nature, the less likely it is for us to go out and pursue that personal wisdom. If there is anyone in the world that could understand me, it might be him by telling me more about my spiritual life. I mean, inform me better on how this central truth has been revealed to me. Yeah. I imagine he would share his perspective as well. Yeah. Spirituality is a personal journey. And it's a very sensitive one as well. Right? Everybody wants to believe that they're doing it the best way that it can be done. For me, the mind has closed in the churches. Does seem to be much searching. Doesn't seem to be much searching, just following. Yeah, the search is over, unfortunately, with church, right? A little bit. You can still, in the church, search a deeper relationship with God, right? But that is so that you can be a better follower, right? In that kind of, and this is my own bias and perspective. Please do correct me. That's where I feel it gets a little bit counterproductive. Because unfortunately, in some religions, and especially one of the popular ones, there is a lot of I want to call it doomerism. right? End times, getting raptured. Like there's a lot of that, unfortunately. There's some fear. There's some going to hell. There's some burning for eternity. Right? And those ideas just do not resonate with the relationship and spirit of God that I have had the privilege of interacting with, to say it in so many words. All right. If I believed in a God, the God I believe in wouldn't be into torturing for eternity his beloved creations. Right? Even me, as a flawed human being, if I had the power to create life, all right, I've invited lives into my life, all right, thinking about little Pippi, all right, I invited her into my life to be a companion in my existence, all right, and her passing away in the way that she did felt tragic to me because there was still more life for her to live and experiences fun for her to have, play with other dogs, right? I felt like all of that was lost, and that was a tragedy to me. And I am a flawed human being, right? From my own perspective, I know that I make mistakes. So God, in all its their majesty, to torture what they love, right? Their own creation. Never mind a dog they adopted, their own creation for eternity, because in this metaphor, the dog, peed inside the house, which was wrong, instead of outside the house, which was right, relative to that divine entity's perspective on what right and wrong is. I just can't get behind believing that. It just doesn't compute to me. It's like I believe God, if there is such a thing, would be way above such pettiness, right? Way above such pettiness. Love is true kind of perspective. It really was nice to have you friends here with me in this moment. I'll show you yesterday's flower. Felt like a little bit of a darker one. Still pretty swoopy stuff. What a colorful time to show up. Hey, Nancy. Yeah, perfect timing. Perfect timing, in fact. We've been having a conversation about the ebbs and flows, the waves, if you will, of consciousness. Specifically as it relates to insecurity and being a human body, and how the majesty of consciousness can be as great and as grand as creation, building bridges, making beautiful works of art, cooking meals delicious, loving another person, holding them in your arms, right? And at the same time, it can be insecurity about having a pimple on your face, all right? And it's staggering, the contrast that consciousness holds. Great topic. Thank you, Brian. It's nice to introduce it to you. The cleanest country in the world? Probably whichever country is uninhabited by humans, Chad. That would probably be the cleanest one. I can imagine. If I wasn't giving a joke answer, I could also imagine Japan. Japan might be the cleanest country. I know they do take that pretty seriously. Why are you asking, Chad? My mind is distracted suddenly. I will undistract my mind right now in the reading of this poem. It's called Caretaking the Star Within. How about that, Sam? You didn't even know. I would pick Japan too. You see, Nancy? India is the cleanest country. I'm gonna have to I'm gonna have to respectfully disagree, Chad. Respectfully, of course. But I think it's probably like a concentration thing. I would think that the Ganges alone takes it out of consideration. Yeah, exactly. Those rivers are not what you would consider clean, right? But again, the places in which there are the least people, right? Like I can imagine Alaska, for example, being pretty clean, relatively speaking. Now I'm gonna have to freaking ask a language model. What have you done? The conversation have pivoted again, and we are now having a discussion about which country is the cleanest. Do let me know, statistically, which country is the cleanest amongst all of them. This thing tells me India. I'm gonna do a backflip. I'm very sure it won't. Estonia. Estonia is one of the cleanest countries. Next is Luxembourg. And after that is Germany. Okay, all right. Estonia is a smaller population. I did say that. Yaus kebab. You didn't understand the joke. Ah, sarcasm. Yeah, go straight over my head. Hey, gobbledygoo. Yaus kebab is right. Yaus skibbity skibbidies. We're having a little bit of a detour in talking about which country is the cleanest. Estonia apparently holds that title. Less industrial scale compared to major economies, and its natural geography and demographics and economy help its environmental profile. There you go. The more you know. Now if someone asks, you can say, Estonia is actually the cleanest. I'm so well informed on world events and stuff. Look at me. Caretaking the star within. Imagine this. You're watching over the most radiant child the universe ever made. They laugh like light caught in rainwater, then cry like thunder remembering how to sing. They live inside you, curled in your breath, growing by the kindness of your own attention. That child is you. Your task is simple and holy. Make sure they rest deeply, drink from the clean rivers, eat what keeps them bright. Guard their joy like fire in the night. Speak to them softly when the world feels loud. Don't rush their lessons. Don't shame their wonder. Let them play, let them dream. Be the one who tucks them back into the wide rhythm of love. Because you are both the caretaker and the cared for, the parent and the spark. And if you do this well, if you tend your own soul with gentle hands, you'll notice the whole sky leaning closer, smiling, as if to say, yes, that is how it's done. What tablet is this? A big one. Chad, it's a big one.
They're pretty big. That's a slab computer. My slabby.
You want to see it without this? Look, it's going to disappear essentially.
It's not that big. It disappears.
Alien tech, Aryan technology from the year 2045. It's unacquirable. You have to have alien homies that really like you and want to give you free shit. Thanks, alien homies. Very cool guys. I like them. Don't get to see them nearly enough. They live far away. I understand. Love is true. I thank you, friends, for joining me today. It was nice to spend a moment appreciating this space. I'll see you, friends, again soon. Tomorrow, okay? I love you.